When was the last time you just had fun? The last time that you really, really enjoyed yourself doing something and just got lost in it. You weren't really trying, you weren't seeking fun, you just had fun. You were just doing something that got you fired up, that made you happy, fulfilled you, made you enjoy the present moment. For me, this was last night. I have been wanting to play Dungeons and Dragons, or D&D, for years, and finally got an opportunity to with a good friend of mine, and I'm very grateful to him for bringing me into his group, and we're pretty much just at the start of a new campaign. And it was the first time I'd ever played D&D, and I just had such a blast. It was so much fun. I got really into the game. It was great to meet some new people, make some new connections, and yeah, we just had a good laugh, some good food, and a really, really good time. We had a lot of fun. And fun is something that I've been thinking about a lot recently, because I think in the modern world, it's almost frowned upon sometimes to have fun. We're expected to work, we're expected to, take care of ourselves, we're expected to do all of the menial life stuff that you just have to do. And often I think that fun kind of gets forgotten about. It's very easy just to go through life working and then, doing your chores, watching a bit of TV and going to bed. And whilst we may enjoy watching TV, we might watch a good show, I don't ever really say that I have fun watching TV, or perhaps even playing video games. When I was younger, I definitely used to have a lot of fun playing video games, and perhaps that passion is still there for you. But I feel like the older I've got, the less interested or the less engaged I've become with video games, and it takes quite a special game to really get me hooked and to get me into it, to get me having fun. And I suppose what my point really is to try and find some more fun in your life. Now, for you, that may be a very, very different, or look very different to Dungeons and Dragons, or it may not. You may be just as nerdy as I am, but I think it's really, really important that we have hobbies, that we have things that we just enjoy doing purely for fun. There's no pressure on them to be good at them, to be performing, to be productive. We're just taking time to enjoy ourselves, and often I find that the most fun I have is when I'm being creative, and that's something else that Dungeons and Dragons allows. You're playing the role of this character, and you have to think and you have to be creative with how you approach situations and what questions you might ask the game master to kind of develop the story and to find out little tidbits that might help you along the way. And so with that, I really think that creativity is something that I know for myself in my life has brought so much joy and so much fun into. It's an area that I think is often neglected, and we often push down because perhaps we think we're not good enough, or we see someone else's artistic or creative output and we kind of put ourselves into that rather than recognising ourselves as creative beings. We're all creative beings, It doesn't matter whether that's in the form of problem solving and kind of the more analytical, logical side of creativity that way, or whether it's in, making abstract art or painting or sculpture or anything like that. We all have these creative gifts. We were all made to make, I think. We're all created to create. And I certainly found that when I've gone through periods of my life where I haven't been in touch with that creative side, that creative power in me, that my life has felt quite empty and quite devoid of fun. And so the two really go hand in hand, creativity and fun. And I do think it's something that you would probably benefit from. I know I certainly have. And even if you don't believe that you are a creative person, I wish you could have my belief in you that you are a creative person. You may just not have found what your creative calling is yet, and you may need to do some work there. But ultimately, if you're feeling quite empty and quite unfulfilled and your life feels quite boring, then look to something that you find fun, something you may have always wanted to do, or you may have done years ago and enjoyed, but you just haven't given yourself permission to do it lately. Go and find that fun, find that creativity, and get that enjoyment and spark back into your life. If you need a bit of help on that creative journey and kind of a bit of direction as to where you might want to go, then I've got a short ebook linked in the description, which is a bit of a blueprint that I have followed myself, and it's a system and a set of guidelines really that have helped me to shape my life and to get where I am today in probably the best mental, physical, spiritual, emotional and financial position that I've ever been in. It's a really holistic system, but it's very simple as well. It focuses on just the core things that we can put our attention into each day that are going to compound over time to make us into better people and happier people ultimately. And creativity is a big part of that, and it's one of the sections in the guidebook. But it's really for you to make your own and to take ownership of your life. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just going to provide you a bit of a framework, some ideas for you to get started with. So if that sounds of interest, as I said, the link's in the description. And I hope you found this video helpful. I'll catch you in the next one. Drop me a subscribe if you enjoyed it. And yeah, until next time, God bless.